Anyways, guys, so we're getting ready to start here.
How many $1 billion did Disney pay him again for Star Wars?
16, I thought, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Why did he take that offer?
I don't know. Probably because money.
It was $16 billion.
Yeah, probably because it was $16 billion.
It's ridiculous. I would never.
Never.
No.
Someone offers me $1 million. Okay.
Someone offered us $10 billion to take over this podcast. No.
Never.
Yeah.
It means you see our potential. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if George Lucas or Disney walked in here, despite my feelings about Disney, walked in here and was like, hey, I've got $16 billion for this podcast right
Bro,
now.
they'd offer you $1 million and you'd say yes.
If I offered you $20 right now for this podcast.
True.
And I would have been like,
Best $20 I ever made.
16. No.
10, 9, 8.
Patrick. 5.
Oh, man, I forgot about that. That's good old SpongeBob movies back when they were good. Okay, guys.
Okay.
How should we start this one? Just kidding. We've already started. Welcome to the Brains in the Jar podcast. We've been rolling. These fools.
Again.
I didn't know they were on the podcast. I've been rolling for the past 2 minutes.
And you're going to be hearing from my lawyers.
Yeah,
I'll be getting $16 million.
You signed an NDA. Wait, what?
Not that again.
I said I'd be getting the $16 million.
Dang it. No, you both signed NDAs. So, got him, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know if you know what an NDA is.
Yes, I do. A non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, hey, she knows what it is. Jordan looked at me like he didn't
Jordan's
know.
like,
Let's
what?
see.
Okay.
Is that another universe we're going to talk about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The NDAU.
The
The
NDAU.
NDAU.
The NDAU. It's full of, I was trying to
Secrets.
think. Yeah, full of secrets.
It's a secret wars.
Yeah, I was trying to think of people who got sued over NDAs, and I couldn't think of a single one.
Single one.
Mark
Yeah.
Ruffalo should have been. Tom Holland should have been.
Yeah, those
I
guys.
feel like all of the Tom Holland ones
Everybody
are
dies.
fake.
Dude.
Oh, just kidding. Only half of them. Dude.
that was
Can we
almost
edit
worse.
that out?
The only half of them, like
That
looking
was
back,
worse.
is almost worse.
It was worse.
Oh gosh. Okay, guys. So we're here. We forgot yoga pants.
We forgot yoga pants.
That's tomorrow.
That's what we went out for.
Tomorrow's our fun day. Baja Blast and yoga.
Okay, so you heard it here first, folks. This is episode 2. We're going to be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but tomorrow we're going to get to work on Mountain Dew episodes.
And yoga pants.
Which, by the way, Mountain Dew owes us some money over all the advertising we've been giving them.
Yeah, because we love Mountain Dew.
we are big Mountain Dew fans. So we got Mountain Dew coming in, and tomorrow we'll be doing yoga pants episodes, which I kind of wanted to be a surprise, but you know what? It's already out there. So if you're listening on the second episode, know that this gets way better in the later episodes.
So much
Are we
worse.
gonna play the Tim Hawkins Yoga Pants song for the introduction or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think we can get copyright claimed. I don't think he'd
By
copyright
Tim
claim
Hawkins?
us.
Or
He's
we
too
could
sweet.
sing it, you know?
Yeah, I could just
We
bust
can
out
do a
my
cover.
guitar.
You can do
Yeah.
a cover.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
a cover.
Record a
of it.
cover tonight.
We'll just
Like
maybe we ought to shoot like a little short film
We
music
should do a
video.
music
of us
video.
doing it.
we're
A
all
yoga
there
pants.
in the front yard or something like that. It's
Yeah.
your house,
We
we're
can do
all
it.
wearing the yoga pants, showing off some cake. Some
We're
cake.
gonna get some cake. We're gonna get a ton of views, hopefully, for
That's why
that.
men aren't
Hopefully.
allowed to wear yoga pants because they show off their
They're too
cake.
voluptuous.
Because then we'd rule the world with our cake.
The world
Our
would be
jeans
over.
do not even do us justice.
No. Nope,
Sorry,
it doesn't.
ladies.
Sorry, Adrian.
I was sitting here like-
face right as I cut to her. Perfect.
All the work you women do in the gym for
For
your
nothing.
cakes, we do half.
Men just breathe and they're like,
we
juicy
walk
doubles.
and we get the cake.
Yeah, exactly.
walk and we get the cake.
Our cakes walk, so yours can run.
That's a good one.
and we don't mean to brag, but they're just naturally better.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that video of me in a Spider-Man suit? Cut to it quick. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna cut to that.
Yes, we will.
I can't tell the story on the podcast because it's inappropriate. Okay, I'm gonna cut it out and tell you guys But back in college, I had that Spider-Man costume, the Tom Holland one.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. it was during COVID, and we were all so bored that we were sending each other like really weird videos.
Funny videos.
And then, like any type of videos that if they got out, people wouldn't cancel us.
Yeah.
Like, but they'd be like,
But it's just like, dude,
Well, you've sent me
what are you doing?
some weird one. Especially you were like a tight pair of jeans and you like tucked your shirt in and you like did the little turnaround like
I love that one.
because I have a really good butt. But I was in the Spider-Man costume, right? And we're doing this video, and stinking.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I got it on a wide, and I'm like, so like, let's say the mirror's over there, and I'm doing the bit, right? And I'm taking pictures, and I'm like, wow, I'm like really thick in this Spider-Man costume. And I had turned around and put my foot up on like a chair, and I'm like, anyways, I think I look really good. And I had stuffed a massive sock into my. into the front
Just
of it.
nonchalant.
Yeah, and then I immediately was like, yeah, guys, I feel really good in this costume, and I cut. So it's like all you really see.
You just get a glimpse.
Yeah, is like a smash cut, and I kind of zoomed in on it. It was like a perfect. I'd done a lot of takes, but it was a perfect like zoom in a little bit on this area.
So
It was
funny.
just this massive sock up my leg. Anyways, that probably has to stay into the final cut because like that was too good of an intro. Anyways, here we are talking about. We're not here to talk about Spider-Man or
No.
socks.
or cake.
or
cake.
Or cake. That's tomorrow's episode. Dang it! I hope part of me is like edit it out. The other part of me is like stay.
Keep it in.
But basically, we're talking about the Obi-Wan show today on the podcast right now. So let me give a little bit of a synopsis. I keep on forgetting to do these, and I don't want to do them I want to do them so we get right into spoilers. The synopsis of the Obi-Wan show. Obi-Wan is stranded, not really stranded, but stranded morally on Tatooine, where he's watching over Luke Skywalker. But he is called upon to save Princess Leia by her family when she is kidnapped by pirates after a chase scene that went on for way too long. Anyways, that is the Obi-Wan show. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now. Welcome back, all the people who just watched it and are back. Everybody else who watched it, you know what happened while they were gone. Adrian, that was a really funny dance you did.
Dance I did.
Well, see, because we're lying to the people who just came back.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a good
I
time.
don't think anything got mentioned.
We didn't catch
What?
that. Yeah.
Get it?
Sorry, I was busy watching Obi-Wan in my head.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you refreshed.
I had to.
So,
That was a-
this episode has gone so off the rails so far.
This is a dumpster
Cake,
fire.
yoga pants,
This
just
is-
gone.
Obi-Wan.
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 So, okay. First impressions. Jordan, go.
Go.
Loved the first episode. Second episode was like, I didn't like Reva's character that much at first, but then started to like it.
Yeah.
But overall, the show was fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially the ending. The ending was beautiful, and I cannot lie, I shed a tear or two on the ending fight. Just the talking between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and we'll get into that later. But overall, loved it. Rewatch it. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like it too.
All right, Adrian. Yeah, I like it too. That's
I like
okay.
it.
All right, Adrian,
Good.
first impressions.
Yeah, I think it's a good, just like, it doesn't, because it's a prequel kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a cute little just story and a little bit more into Obi-Wan that we get, which I like. I don't really have any complaints on it, actually.
Yeah. I think I sit kind of in Adrian's camp a little bit where it's like, I have some complaints.
Yeah.
Mainly because I do think Reva gets redeemed at the
Yeah.
end. And I think we're going to talk about people who don't understand. There was a movie cut of this made by a fan, and they added stuff. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. But the long story short, they kind of fix her character in that because they don't give her such an exhaustive intro into the series. And they make her definitely more of a threat and less of... I don't want to say... What would you say the problem with Reva's character was in at least the beginning of the show, Jordan?
I didn't understand it at first.
Yeah.
She just seemed a little too serious, too motivated to catch Obi-Wan, and it's a character we've never heard of or seen of before. So we're like, why is she so obsessed with finding Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Why is she so like up the Inquisitor's like business? Like she's trying to overrule them all, and you're just like, I've watched Rebels, I've watched A New Hope, and we've never heard any rumor of Reva as an Inquisitor. So,
Yeah.
but like after the story kept going on, and I found out more about her, and I even like had the fan theory turned out to be true about her being a Padawan and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, after I found all that out, I was like, wow, she's a really great character. Like,
Yeah.
and her purpose and her mission, her plan is actually a really thought out plan. Like,
Yeah.
she has been thinking about this for years.
Yeah.
So I liked her character. I really did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, I think at the beginning people were just like, oh no, they're just trying to find a new character to introduce and make her way too overpowered because everyone, like, she kills the Grand Inquisitor, but she doesn't. But at the beginning, you just kind of like, what's going on? Why are they just changing it up like this?
Yeah.
But then it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think in this type of show, you have to have a character almost mirror Obi-Wan's journey.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she was necessary in a
Yeah.
weird way, because he had no equal in the show. It was like, there's Darth Vader,
Yeah.
which I think isn't mirroring him. That's a byproduct of his past.
Yeah.
That it's a ghost that follows him as Darth Vader. So it's not, I feel like that Reva was really necessary. Without her, I feel like the show would have felt
A little weak.
a little weak. Yeah, like its plot would have felt like it needed something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it needed a little more than just Obi-Wan's side of it.
Definitely. We got into Reva a little bit quicker than I thought we would, but let's stop off on Obi-Wan's character and his story arc through this while we have the chance before we forget.
Yeah.
Personally, I adore this transition of Obi-Wan. With that said, in the beginning I was frustrated because it was like, I understand it's 10 years later,
Yeah.
but Obi-Wan was a killing machine in episode 3.
Yeah.
like intense guy. And I remember being kind of frustrated with the opening of Obi-Wan and the introduction. It's like, oh, he's a has-been. And that's not really where we find him in A New Hope. In A New Hope, he's like still that kill.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, wow. He's still that killing machine. He's just, older.
Yeah, he's
a lot
a little
older.
slower.
And then, of course, it pays off really well. But I want to hear your guys' take on Obi-Wan's story arc and how you felt with him in the beginning of the show and by the end of the show. Jordan, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, TikTok's kind of helped out with this. Like, people, before it came out, they were reading chapters from the books of Obi-Wan and his PTSD, and then I read a comic or two about his PTSD and his blame on killing Anakin.
Yeah.
So I thought they did a really good job, and I kept waiting for a flashback, and we finally got one. But I loved, because Obi-Wan has always been my favorite character, and I always loved how he was so committed to the Force and the Jedi. It was nice to see him broken. And I know that's it was kind of a good thing to see him broken, because he's always been the same, like devoted, strong, courageous. We've never seen him down before.
Yeah.
And this is Obi-Wan we haven't seen. He's broken, he's down, he blames himself for killing Anakin and for the fall of the Jedi because he was his master, his father figure. And so I like that, but I also loved how at the end everything was redeemed, and we'll get into the ending fight and the symbolism of all that later. But I loved how he was broken. Then once he found out after Darth Vader told him, "You didn't kill Anakin,
I
was
did."
me.
That
did."
was
that was
intense
his
realization.
cleared his soul, lifted something up,
his-
and he was able to finally make peace with himself,
Yeah.
with the Force, with Anakin's passing, and that's why he was able to join with Qui-Gon. At
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes him. It doesn't make him a liar in New
No,
Hope,
yeah,
he
it
is
doesn't.
has been seen all these years.
Yeah.
Where he's coming to terms with a reality, even though the reality may be in someone's head in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's there's Anakin still in there, but it's different. Anyways, Adrian,
Yeah.
go on.
I mean,
yours.
I only watched it as soon as it came out, so I the memory's not that fresh, but I do like how he's kind of how Jordan said, we're kind of seeing him struggle for once. And I like too that he's like struggling to hear Qui-Gon. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, he's got everything together and immediately he can hear Qui-Gon. He's like at this point where he's like, no one's telling me what to do. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that about it, that it's a new side. It's more personal.
Yeah.
Towards him.
I would totally agree. And I think I don't want to get too much into the fight because I think that should be our finale.
Yeah.
But the fight between him and Darth Vader at the end adds so much context to A New Hope.
Yeah.
Because the whole time, like, Obi-Wan, right, he fights Anakin last time and defeats him pretty hard and makes him who he is, right?
Right.
Obi-Wan is pretty, like, non-remorseful. I wouldn't say not remorseful, but, like,
Kind of like in shock.
no, in A New Hope, he doesn't, like, have remorse for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
leaving him
and
to
then,
die
yeah.
on a lava planet,
Yeah,
burning up.
In that time, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, this show sheds a really good light on why he doesn't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it makes it, I feel like this Obi-Wan really sheds a light on A New Hope Obi-Wan. Because, like, there's all those memes where it's like, how'd my father die? It's like, well, I chopped his legs and arm off,
Yeah.
and I left him to burn on a
That's how.
on a lava planet. Like, I think those are really funny memes, but this, like, almost adds layers to him.
It makes it make sense what he says.
Exactly, and it makes the fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan in New Hope another level, because Darth Vader's at this point where he's on a losing streak with Obi-Wan, and now he's an old man, and now this is another decade in the future, or 8 years in the future, and Darth Vader's looking to even the score so much that he's not willing to understand the significance of Obi-Wan's death.
Yeah.
At the time, Obi-Wan, before he even dies, knows. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I want to get away from the fight a little bit because we're going to talk more about that later. So basically, I want to talk to you guys about the controversy of Obi-Wan a little bit. What'd you guys think of Princess Leia in this show? Outside of the overly long chase sequence, but throw a little bit of the chase sequence in there. Jordan?
I think that little actress was
Perfect.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And she was, like you said, looked just like
Yeah.
her. Like, if you were to take Carrie Fisher and make her a child, that
Was
her.
it.
Yeah.
But, like, the way she was stubborn as Anakin and as smart and, like, political, even though she hates politics, as Padme. And then when Obi-Wan was just telling her, like, you remind me of someone I know. And
Oh, that
I was
part.
Just, I get, like, the hard throat, like the lump in the throat whenever, just thinking about it right now. Okay.
Okay. Anyways.
But yes, I think she did phenomenal. Yeah, the chase scene was stupid. It literally should have just been like, oh, you show the guys there, and then the screen goes black, boom, she's kidnapped. That little girl can't run away from
cannot
three
outrun.
grown bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Not bounty hunters. Would they be bounty hunters?
Yeah, they're bounty hunters.
yeah.
I would consider them bounty hunters.
So yeah, I was just like, come on. But other than the chase scene, I loved every scene with her in it. And Lola was cute. Her little bondage with Bola with Lola.
Ebola, yeah.
But the chemistry between her and Ewan McGregor too was
Perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought it was so
like
cute.
Father daughter, like just I can't.
Adorable level.
It's so,
like,
How much
yeah.
he wants to protect her. I mean, he even wanted to protect Luke. That's why he's like keeping so close of an
the
eye on
frickin'
him.
Owen.
And I know. Shut up, Owen.
Trained his father. Shut
Whatever,
up.
dude.
You trained his father?
Whatever.
I also cut his arms off and left.
Yeah, did you
left
forget
him
about
dying
that,
on lava
buddy?
planet. You have no idea how bad this actually is,
Yeah.
sir.
Sir, yeah.
But Ancient,
Yeah.
what do you think of young Princess Leia?
Yeah, I didn't see really any controversy. I'm not always the biggest fan when they introduce like kids into shows because I'm like, I feel like they're trying to make it like more towards children or something. But I think she was great. I do think she was a little like, she was pretty mature for how old that little girl is. But I mean, that's Leia. Like, she kind of got to be mature if she's gonna be a princess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
I heard this really interesting argument that isn't about necessarily Princess Leia and Obi-Wan in this show, but someone said, I'm sick and tired of the Star Wars shows. And I think I'll think of the YouTuber in a minute and I'll call him out because I'm not going to say anything bad about him. But no, I'm not going to say anything bad about him. But basically, he mentions, I'm sick and tired of all these Star Wars shows where it's a grown broken man learning to love again. A grown broken man learning to be a father. A grown broken man learning to be.
True.
Because like Mando takes on Baby Yoda. Boba Fett takes on
Quite the same.
the the malls. What are they called?
The mods.
The mods. They takes on the mods. The Obi-Wan takes on young Princess Leia. But I feel like Princess Leia was a really good way to add more context to New Hope Obi-Wan, which I've never even thought about it before. But I always was like, watching the show, it made me realize, like, oh, that's why she calls for Obi-Wan.
That's why she knows him. It makes it make sense.
In New Hope.
Yeah.
It might be a little, like, overused in the past, but for this specific show, it just makes sense. He has to have crossed paths with her in the past.
Exactly. As where, like, A New Hope doesn't really give that context.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the only, like, thing that conflicts with it is just her dialogue about it in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Like, instead of her being like, remember you, like, saved me or whatnot, she says, Obi-Wan, you served my father in the Clone Wars. He says you can help us out and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's true,
But, I mean, regardless, still, it's, like, perfect. It connects it, like, how she knows to call for Obi-Wan and how she knows he's on Tatooine. Like, sends R2 there, and it's perfect.
Absolutely. I think, too, it adds, I've lost my train of thought. Let's move on to, we've already spoken about Reva. I want to hit Owen a little bit, which I know is like a little bit of
Owen frustrated me.
Not frustrated. I wasn't going to say that, but it's like he's a side character, almost of a side character in this. But I actually think I love how they characterized Owen.
I did.
In this way. And Adrian mentions he's annoying, which he is, but he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but
that's
I
the
get
point.
it, yeah.
So what do you guys think of Owen as a whole in the show? Go ahead, Jordan.
I loved it because it adds more to the story of A New Hope when you see how much Owen hates Obi-Wan, and he doesn't hate him, but he's like, I don't want you to be near him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Old Ben, what they call him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole thing, like he doesn't want him to see Luke. He gives away the present back to Obi-Wan. Like super annoying, and I know Aunt Beru, she likes Obi-Wan. She wanted him to be there, and she blamed him when Reva came and whatnot. But that just kind of goes to show you Owen did love Anakin, and he was really upset about Anakin's passing, and now he wants to make sure the mistake Obi-Wan made with Anakin doesn't happen with his adopted son Luke, whom he loves equally as much.
Yeah.
Because he's lost all his family. I mean, he lost his mother, which was Anakin's mom. He lost his father, probably died soon after the Tusken Raider attack on his leg or old age, who knows. But yeah, he lost everybody, and so now this is like his opportunity for a family and to start fresh. So he's protective.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's for some points of view, it's frustrating because you're caring only about Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan's opinion and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, of course Owen would act like that. He's being a protective father.
Yeah.
He knows what happens when people are around Obi-Wan, not specifically because of Obi-Wan, but he's a cause for trouble, so it makes sense.
Absolutely. And again, we go back to the last time someone really hung out with Obi-Wan, he cut their arms and legs off.
You left them to burn and die.
And left them to burn in a lake or river. Or a lava river.
A lake or river.
A lake or river. But y'all know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
Gosh darn it.
We'll put subtitles.
I don't have to explain myself to you. But no, I think it's actually really good. I personally enjoyed Owen's arc. Because of course at the end it brings along the "hello there" line, which is like
I love that.
I was like,
so much.
He said it.
He said it.
What's the Leonardo DiCaprio meme?
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah. Whoop. Yeah, no, that's exactly. But at the same time, I find it really relatable. And then of course at the end when they're like, "We gotta go," she's like, "No, we gotta defend this place.
Fight.
This is the last."
I love
place.
that.
Aunt Beru is freaking.
She's a savage. We
nailed
like
it,
her.
and I think it added another side to Owen where he's like, she's right. This is our last stand. Where else are we gonna go?
Yeah.
It's defend this place or bust. So they got guns and held off a Sith,
that was
which is
pretty
incredibly fun. I mean, she was wounded. I thought.
Yeah, but still, she was stabbed.
She was stabbed.
No big
For
whoop.
the second time in a spot you shouldn't survive.
Exactly.
But,
Everybody's
Whatever.
surviving lightsaber stabs these days.
except for Qui-Gon. Poor guy.
Except for you got the short end of that.
That
stick.
was a little bit.
I imagine like a week after Qui-Gon died, they were like, "We gotta fix this lightsaber stab
Yeah,
issue.
not everybody's gonna be dying
You
if
can't
that's
have
the
guys
case.
dying left and right because they're
Nah.
getting stabbed.
They have to be sliced in half and then some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And even then, they get sliced in
Yeah,
half, and the
because
sucker
Darth
comes
Vader
back.
survives.
I didn't even think about that. Qui-Gon did get the
Yeah.
lower end of that deal. Cause
Literally, out of everybody
like,
who's been stabbed in the stomach in Star Wars, everybody survives.
Yeah.
Except Qui-Gon.
Except
and then so many
Qui-Gon.
people
He's
get
just
cut
a
in half
little
and
dramatic.
and survives. It adds more layer
Little
to
tangent.
Obi-Wan too, because
Yeah.
that homeboy is adding so much carnage to everybody. You don't realize how badass Obi-Wan is
Yeah.
until you get into this, like, and you put his kill count up.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like, we cut the one dude in half. We shot Grievous in
Grievous in the heart.
chest, in the heart.
Yeah.
In his exposed guts that you exposed. What other things have you done? Of course, there's the chopping up your
Best
Padawan
friend.
and
Yeah.
best friend.
Your
Took on
brother.
Darth Vader twice in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you leave him to die in a river of lava.
Yep.
What's other? There, I'm sure there are other Obi-Wan kills that are just
That are iconic.
savage.
Not the Siege of Mandalore, but when Obi-Wan was on Mandalore, when Duchess Satine
Yeah.
died, like, BA on that, he's wearing full Mandalorian armor, flying around on jetpacks with his lightsaber, portable high ground. I
He's
mean,
so cool.
Portable-
portable high ground.
High ground on the go. He's like, I need it.
Like, but yeah, Obi-Wan, always been my favorite. Like,
Yeah. Oh.
He's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
You can't help but like him.
Yeah, he's everybody's favorite all day long. So now that we've kind of touched on the wonderful, wonderful world of all the people that Obi-Wan has killed, or at least gotten really close. Apparently, he doesn't kill a lot of them. He just
Yeah.
like mangles
leaves
them.
them to
He just
Yeah.
Leaves him to
Leaves
cuts off
die.
their limbs, and then they come back in more powerful shape than
Maybe
last
he
time.
needs a stronger lightsaber.
yeah. I mean, it did take him like 20 years to kill Maul
Yeah.
after he cut him in half. So I think that like added insult to injury.
Just that fight alone was poetic.
Oh my
Maul,
gosh.
yeah.
It was music.
Perfect segue, Jordan, getting into the fights and the poetry of the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight in this show. I heard people complain about the setting, but no one really complains about this fight when it comes to the fight itself.
Before we get to the fight,
Go
should
ahead.
we talk about Darth Vader's introduction in Episode 4?
Oh my gosh.
Masterpiece.
Yes, go
We
ahead.
haven't even
Chills.
started talking about Darth Vader yet. We're
Chills.
about to get into the final fight.
Yeah. Okay, all right. All right, Darth Vader in this show. Jordan, go ahead.
Holy crap.
That's all you can say.
Okay, so just the first introduction where Obi-Wan's hiding in the cave and you just see Obi-Wan. He knows Anakin's alive now, so he's seeing him for the first time after just leaving him
I still
for
like
dead.
that. It's like
And there's
shock.
no music. It was just quiet. And Obi-Wan just looks at a kid, cracks his neck, and you're just like, oh, this is dark.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
And then just burns Obi-Wan in flames. We don't see him for like another episode, but then when him and Reva have the fight, and you're like, people are like, oh, they better not nerf Vader in this fight. Oh, they don't. He's freaking stopping
He's
a
never
lightsaber.
Mofo pulls out a Star
Yes.
Killer in this and
Yeah.
pulls the ship down.
Yeah. Well, that was also, people were like, this plot armor too, because you don't see the ship in the background, and then when he lands the ship, there's another ship in the background that flies off.
Yeah.
But that was still,
Still
a Star
good.
Killer thing. Just, dude
Yeah.
pulls down an entire ship, lands it, rips out the cage. Like, this
Like
is the
nothing.
Darth Vader. we've
He's
been
OP,
wanting.
and
Yeah.
that's what he's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And that's why, like, yeah.
Fought Obi-Wan in their first fight with one hand.
Yeah.
Wasn't even trying. Just toying with him to see where Obi-Wan's at. And then when he was fighting Reva, didn't even use his lightsaber. He used hers.
Yeah.
He just fought with his hands in the Force, took her lightsaber from her, broke it in two, used hers, let her use the other half of it, and then just stabbed her.
And he, like, he wants a fair fight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he, to him, this is fun. This is a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a fair fight that he wants. I
Well,
think he
yeah.
wants to pick apart.
He wants,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think
He
that's
wants to play with you.
Yeah, exactly. You're right,
Mess with
though,
ya.
with it's a game analogy because
Yeah.
he wants to pick apart. He wants to fight.
Because he knows he's too powerful. So he's just like, I'm getting bored.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
do something.
He has to keep it
And that's
interesting
why,
for
yeah,
himself.
like, I would like a Darth Vader movie, but, like, there would kind of be no point because
There's such good Darth Vader content out
But
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's so good at just being that character in the show or the movie, where it's like, whoa, like
Yeah.
that's all you need is that cool scene, that one scene.
Exactly. So, Adrian, Darth Vader in this show, obviously, beside his like power and how good he is and how much we want to show, what'd you think of his arc? Because this isn't. I wouldn't say this is a Darth Vader arc. This is
This
an
is definitely
Anakin
not.
arc. This is a Darth Vader arc.
Yeah,
So, what'd you think of Darth Vader in this show as a context of a character, not so much his power and how much he isn't nerfed in this show because he is not.
I don't know how to like. I don't know because I'm so. fogged on that memory of that show. So, but I liked it. Like, he's very, like, I don't know, because I don't really see the arc. He just comes in already like he's Darth Vader.
He comes in really hot.
He comes in really hot and heavy.
Yeah.
And it's just that way the whole way through.
Absolutely. I loved, Jordan made a comment, or Jordan showed us a video about Darth Vader and Obi-Wan's first encounter, which is freaking hilarious. And we're going to quote it, and we're going to butcher it. But Jordan wants that quote without the mother effers in that. Where he's talking about
when Hayden Christensen is talking about it, when Obi-Wan's talking about it.
Yeah, where he's like, Obi-Wan.
And he talks in a British accent. You showed it to us last night.
He drags him through the fire, and he's like, "That's how it feels, mofo." And then Obi-Wan's there, like, "Oh crap, this is how it felt."
Yeah, it was like Darth Vader's dragging Obi-Wan through the fire. He's like, "Mother effer, this is what it felt like." And then Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, mother effer, this is what it felt like."
Yeah.
I love that video.
That's the video we're talking about. That is like such a good explanation of that whole scene, in like a really intense scene, a really complex scene, put into a small 2-second window.
video.
Yeah, that's how you would describe it. But he is actively pushing him through what he thinks he felt like.
Yeah. He's trying to get justice. Kind of, but yeah.
He's trying to
make
him
it
feel
even.
it. Yeah, trying to get things even. And then going into the final fight with Obi-Wan. Dang, what a good fight. That, by the way, I'm not a crier for movies. I say that all the time.
No,
but you cry every time.
You're a crier.
You're a crier. You're a crier.
The bucket list. 13
How
hours.
can you not cry at those
You
ones?
didn't need to expose me on the dang bucket list. We didn't talk about that at all. We talked about the other ones.
Is this camera the one we're looking at?
That's the wide. Yes, go ahead.
Just so you know, we're watching the bucket list, and all you hear at the end of the movie is...
I had heat
and
stroke.
me, whatever.
Active
Me
heat
and
stroke.
his dad turn around, and we just look at CJ. He's like, "You guys didn't tell me it was gonna be this sad," and he's wiping tears from his eyes.
I had heat stroke. Gosh dang it!
Heat stroke.
I had heat
in the
stroke.
winter.
So it was the middle of summer. We were roofing the top of the roof, and I got a heat stroke.
So you cried?
I had a temperature of 103, and then y'all sit me down and make me watch the bucket list like a bunch of frickin' animals, a bunch of dirty, filthy animals. Make me watch the bucket list. Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson dying and crap.
Okay. How do you explain the several thousand times we watched End of Watch, and every single time?
I only cried the one time. No, we watched End of Watch.
CJ, you're a crier. Get over
it.
it.
If I played that scene right now, you guys would just see CJ in the background.
I'm not a crier, gosh dang it. I'm not a crier.
Careful, John.
You guys stop it right now. I'm not a crier, damn it. Listen,
sweetie.
I'm so good at watching movies, I don't cry at all. I watch some boy in striped pajamas.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm sure.
That'll make every grown man cry.
Okay, back to your tearful encounter of the last episode.
You're a man, CJ. Don't worry.
Shut up. No one wants to hear your side of the thing.
We don't want your opinion. That's why you're on the podcast.
That's why you're on my show.
I'm going to bleep all that out.
Yeah, I'm getting this. This is getting cut. I don't care how much you like it. This is getting cut. You guys suck.
Hey, I didn't do it.
Yes, you did. You laughed at me. No.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I'm gonna Joker the crap out of you guys in a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Joker.
my cheeks hurt.
I can't do this.
I can't even finish.
I can't do this. I don't even know what we were talking about.
No, I know
you're not a crier.
So much context.
Okay, just go. You're about to cry.
You're not a
Last
crier.
episode encounter.
I'm not a crier, but this show made me like the well up in my throat thing happened, and it was great. And like towards the end, especially because it was like Obi-Wan is like coming to terms with not just what is the reality, but his own actions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's coming to terms with like what he did, and he's forgiving himself for what he did. And it's sad state of scenarios because what he did was pretty bad.
Yeah.
If you look back on the context of what Obi-Wan did to Anakin, even though it may have been called for 100%, he still chopped up his
best friend and
brother,
left him there
best
to
friend,
burn.
left him to burn
While he gave up speech.
Yeah. I love you, Anakin.
Wait, stop your screaming in agony. I need to say something.
That's one thing I wish they had in Revenge of the Sith more during their fight. They
Yeah.
saved all the dialogue until Anakin was cut in pieces.
Yeah, and he's like, I
it would have
love
been
you.
nice to have some dialogue while they were fighting. Like,
Yeah,
while they're
like-
in that position where they're both
He should have
holding
said
each other's
something.
lightsabers.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm sorry, Anakin, I failed you there. Instead of after he cuts his limbs off. Like,
See, I think though, now George Lucas is notorious for dialogue. You guys know
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the prequels is, if you watch the prequels, you're like, that was a weird thing to say, guys.
yeah.
That was kind of weird.
But I think that was actually a genius little like a dialogue on George Lucas's part, because it's the moment where Obi-Wan can say whatever he wants without
True.
Anakin interrupting, and their whole relationship so far has been a product of Anakin's response.
That's
to
Yeah.
true.
Obi-Wan.
Now he
And so
can't.
I think like the chance where he's like get to shut him up with, you know, chopping his arms off and legs, like it's his moment to express himself in this remorse and stuff. So I think
He's letting it all out.
Yeah, he's letting it all out, and then he doesn't hold on to that. He moves on from it, but he's still broken up.
Now he's
over
broken
what,
from the
now
next
he feels
thing.
guilty about preaching to him after he chopped his arms and legs
Yeah.
off.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he's like, maybe that was a little far.
Maybe that was a little too much.
Yeah, maybe I should just like left a leg or something.
Yeah, we just give him something.
Yeah, now he has
Something
no
organic.
legs. Now he's a net zero on legs right there, and arms technically. He
And
got his good
everything.
one right.
Yeah.
yeah.
All of
Homeboy
them.
won't mess it around when it comes to chopping limbs off.
Oh, he planned it. His right arm was the mechanical one. He's just like, the left one's the real one.
Rawr.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he goes through an amazing arc in this coming out into the fight, where then he gets to express like forgiveness for himself.
Yeah.
Jordan, what other thoughts do you have on the fight? You mentioned a lot of poetry and stuff. What exactly are you thinking on this one?
Okay, well, there was the callback to Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan said, I will do what I must. And he said the exact same thing and then took the
Yeah.
same stance, too. But then the dialogue changed with Anakin.
Oh,
to
yeah,
Darth
I
Vader,
liked
and
that.
he said, then...
He says in the
"You
first
will
one he
try."
tries, you will
yeah,
try.
you will try, is
Yeah.
what Anakin said. And then Darth Vader said, then you will die.
Yeah.
So I was
He's like,
"Oh,
it's all or
dang."
nothing
So
now.
yeah, that was one of the things. And then they had some of the same fight moves that they had in Revenge
Yeah.
of the Sith be the same.
It's almost like Vader was trying to recreate the fight, but
Yeah.
win.
Yeah,
Like he wants that moment back.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the poetry thing I was talking about is when Obi-Wan cut Darth Vader's mask down the middle.
That was beautiful.
When Obi-Wan's lightsaber is up, you see the blue reflecting on the face, and it was when Anakin was talking to him, I'm not your failure, Obi-Wan.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't kill him. And then it turns to the red when Darth Vader picks his lightsaber up, and the red is reflecting on the face, knowing Darth Vader's talking now. He says, you didn't kill him, Obi-Wan.
I did.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It's like,
dang.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it is such a good moment.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, especially because Ewan McGregor, that's the part that broke me.
Yeah.
Was Ewan McGregor like tears up, and Obi-Wan tears up, and he's like, "Then my friend is truly gone." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's almost as if Obi-Wan heard that Anakin was alive,
And
there
was hoping
and there was
Yeah.
a little bit of him that was like
I could save him.
hoping that he wanted his friend back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
The part that just made my like throat in the I actually like a tear came down when he said this, when he apologized and Ewan McGregor's voice broke and he's like,
Oh.
I'm sorry, Anakin, for all of it. When he said for all of it, his
Dude.
voice cracked and I saw the tears. Like the lump in my
Dude.
throat. I was like,
I can't
and
do
the
this.
tears started to come down. I was like, okay. And Bailey was looking at me. She's like, seriously, babe? Seriously? I'm like, you don't understand.
You don't get it, woman.
Like,
get
Star
is when
Wars
grown
was
men cry.
before Marvel for me.
Yeah.
Like, you
This is
don't
my
get it.
life.
Like when R2 popped up at the end of The Mandalorian season 2 with Luke.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
watched
cried.
that
I
on our
sobbed.
honeymoon, okay? I made us drive to a Starbucks, So, because we had no
So
service
he could have
in our
Wi-Fi.
cabin,
Yeah.
So I made us drive to a Starbucks during our honeymoon so we could watch the last episode of Mandalorian, and it was tears of joy.
That
like I
was
didn't even cry at my
amazing.
wedding. Okay, and this was
But he
tears
cried
of
for
joy
this.
when
Yeah,
Luke
yeah.
and R2 popped up, and I was like, you don't know what this means for Star Wars fans because they have done Luke an injustice in the
Oh,
sequels.
they
Oh.
And so to
totally
see
have.
him have his
Yeah.
like redemption in the Mandalorian, and then to see R2 again reenact with Grogu, the
So
same way he
cute.
did almost with Yoda.
So cute.
On not Yavin.
Yavin 4.
Yavin 4. Yeah. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I think that. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But when
Yeah, that could be a whole nother.
Yeah, that could be a whole nother thing. Is the Mandalorian? I don't think we talked about the Mandalorian.
I don't
in
think
season
we
1 or
have
season
either.
2.
No, but season 3 comes out next year, early March of next year, so we could do an episode on that when it
Yeah.
comes out.
Oh, there you go. That's our plan then. But like when I forgot about the. I'm sorry for all of it.
Like,
That was probably the part where I'm like, oh dang it! I expected to watch a Star Wars. I expect to be crying in my room alone. Like
This isn't what I planned for a Saturday night.
yeah. Like, gosh, dang it! Now I look like a fool if anybody saw me. But yeah, the I'm sorry, Anakin, and the way he addresses him
Yeah.
for all of it. He's not just apologizing for chopping his arms and legs off and
Yeah.
leaving him by
No,
a
it's
fire
for
re-riven.
messing everything up.
No, but
basically.
for raising him wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
because I
apologizing
think
for that.
yeah, and I think you said something about it, how like he went too hard on trying to raise him the
Yeah.
way he thought that it should have been, that he didn't actually like give Anakin any freedom or anything, like
Yeah.
to actually make his own mistakes.
And I think in that same breath, you can also make the argument that Obi-Wan tried to raise him not like a father. He tried to be his
Raise
friend
him
and
like
his
a
brother.
yeah.
The way that, because Qui-Gon was his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way that Obi-Wan
that's what you-
saw him, when in reality,
He should have been he needed a father.
Obi-Wan should have been his dad.
Yeah.
And instead he leaves him out to dry and is like, no, we're equals.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't have been the way it was.
No.
He
Yeah.
should have been his father.
So in episode 2, that's what Anakin even says to him when they walk into that cantina.
Yes.
He's just like, come on, Obi-Wan, you're the closest thing I have to a father. But that's another thing in Phantom Menace. There's a reason why, and George Lucas, and actually it was Dave Filoni who commented on this during a Mandalorian interview. The reason why the song is called Duel of the Fates is not the fate of who's going to win the battle between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. It's the fate of
Anakin's
Skywalker.
like
Yeah.
future.
If Maul kills Obi-Wan, the Padawan for Anakin's going to be Qui-Gon, and he's going to be raised
like a father.
like a father figure, what
Yeah.
Anakin needed, and that's the dark side's
Would
not
have been
gonna
completely
happen.
different.
But if Qui-Gon gets killed, and that's the only person who truly understands Anakin and the dark side and the Chosen One, all that stuff, if he gets killed, then the fate is left to Obi-Wan to train him, and so
We see
that's
what
why
happens.
it's Duel of the Fates. It's the
Yeah.
fate
That's
of
good.
the Star Wars universe, the fate of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. And I think too, like, it makes you wonder the relationship between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, does Obi-Wan regret or resent
Qui-Gon
Anakin.
or Anakin.
because he saw
Oh,
he saw Qui-Gon love him more.
Yeah.
Or he saw Qui-Gon
put
try
more
to
effort.
Exactly. He saw Qui-Gon try to raise him like a son.
While he was already, while Obi-Wan was already his Padawan, he went to the council and said, "I will take him as my Padawan."
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
go ahead.
Oh, and he probably man, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
No, you're
Well,
sorry.
he's probably like he doesn't want to fill the shoes of Qui-Gon. He doesn't want to be what Qui-Gon would have been. He wants to just do what Qui-Gon needed to
Yeah,
do.
and it also makes, like, that's why I'm saying it kind of makes you wonder about the relationship of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, because was Obi-Wan raised as Qui-Gon's son or as his
Or-
Padawan?
Yeah.
Because if he was his son, is he resenting Anakin as a little brother, or was Obi-Wan raised as his Padawan the same way that
Yeah. He's
Anakin-
raising him up.
he raised Anakin?
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
then it adds that element of, like, well, then he was like, well, no, gosh darn it, this is how you do it.
Yeah, this is how I was.
Qui-Gon got soft in his old age and was trying to baby this boy.
That makes sense.
but I'm gonna raise him right.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like, there is no attachment between me and him.
Yeah.
And then of course you get to this show where it then has that peak where he apologizes. It has that, final resolve where he realizes the way he should have raised Anakin.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about this yet. Obi-Wan was the first show, or first Star Wars content that we had to where we actually got live action clone trooper armor. That was actual armor.
Yeah.
And Boba Fett flashbacks, in Mandalorian flashbacks, and then in all of the prequels, all the armor for the clone troopers was all CGI.
Yeah.
And so we actually got our first live action actual armor in Obi-Wan. Like they were actual, like, people in the armor. It wasn't just CGI'd over, and I thought that was really cool. The whole Order 66 things that we've been getting, all those scenes have been pure gold.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that Order 66 is a really good turning point for Star Wars. Like, if you're going to mark anything, it's like before Order 66 and before Order 66, or after Order 66 and before Order 66.
Yeah.
I think that's a good mark. Adrian, do you have anything else you want to say about the fight, the final fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan?
I don't think so. I think Jordan nailed that one in the head.
Yeah,
it was poetry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should probably start with Adrian next time.
No, I always forget what I'm gonna say.
No, it's okay. But I mean, we're coming up on 45-minute mark, or we passed it. So closing thoughts on the Obi-Wan show. Obviously, it had its flaws, I think. But if you go back and watch the movie that got cut, which is now taken down by Disney, you bastards.
Sad. They're like, how could they make something better than us?
Yeah, exactly. That's how Disney, I feel, sees anything.
Anything, yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
How'd they do that?
Why didn't we do that?
On another note, so Disney can't take this off because it's on a adult website. Someone put all of the Star Wars movies, like not all the movies, so Revenge of the Sith and all Order 66 scenes from Clone Wars to
together.
Bad Batch, all together, even from Mandalorian, all together, and they posted it on Pornhub. And you can watch the whole movie, Revenge of the Sith. It's like 4 hours long with all those Order 66 scenes added in. There's no commercials, no nothing. All you got to do is type it in, and it's there.
And it's there.
Yeah.
Jordan knows because he accidentally found
He
it.
accidentally.
I stumbled upon it while I was doing some research.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
Yeah, for the podcast. Oh gosh, but you know what? Whoever did that's a stinking hero.
Yeah.
But anyways, closing thoughts. Jordan already gave his piece.
Nah, that's not it. That's not the
Jordan gave all our piece.
He's gonna leave it at the porn note. Adrian, your closing thoughts.
To me, I think that I didn't really see any problems with it. Obviously, there's like a few things here or there where you're like, but to me, I think it was a perfect addition to Obi-Wan. It was kind of like I always think that when they do movies or shows that are in between something, kind of like, was it Rogue One? Rogue One. That one was like one of the best Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And that, I think they know that that's what we want. We want more of the story in between what we have originally gotten. We don't really necessarily need new characters or new content. We want explanations.
Yeah.
And I like that we're getting them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Star Wars too, that's what they deserve. And I think that if they would have left it just at the original 6 movies, it would be fine. But Disney then tried to go and add more to it. And then they'd be like, you got the Bible? And was like,
this is good. Let's make another.
Yeah, this is really good.
Let's add to it.
Let's
really
be
Mormons.
Yeah, let's add. We're gonna make this about a religious thing. I have Mormon friends who are gonna listen to this. So
You did not mean that.
I'm not gonna bring it up. But that'd be like you get a book and you'd be like, let's add Grandma's cookbook to it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you freaking idiot. It's the Bible. Don't touch it. And I'm sure people of religion, I'm not comparing Star Wars to the Bible. Mormons,
it is our Bible.
Sorry about what Jordan said.
I'm not.
Okay.
Anyways.
I
think Disney has learned their lesson on, hey, don't be a little bastard. Just fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
And if you want to make a new Star Wars, you need to get so far removed from the original 6.
I think that's the problem, is they tried to repeat the original 6. We don't want that. We already had that.
Exactly.
Just fill in the gaps or make a whole, like, the Star Wars universe is so vast and so big that there would be no reason to have a story similar to itself. Like, I like how they did, like, the Star Wars anime and stuff. Like, stuff like that that's completely different and new.
It needs to be, like, either 100 years in the future or 100 years in the past. It cannot be anywhere near.
No, it can't be like the next story.
Exactly.
Old Republic stuff is what I'm looking forward to the most.
Exactly. And I mean, because, I mean, we still haven't got an explanation for how the First Republic was started.
Yeah.
We just start the original trilogy.
Yeah, and Star Wars is one of those movies where you just jump right into that world.
It's world building.
And that's what I like. I like when movies just jump right in, but then it's perfect for like 20 years later. Yeah. Now we can make the prequels to how it started or how it became. That's what we want. We don't want anything new right now or like just after something, you know? Yeah.
Freaking when Mace Windu brings up like we destroyed the Sith. I would love to hear that story.
Yeah, can we have that?
Can we have the story where they got I want to see Star Wars The Last Sith.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that would be The Last Jedi. That would be
amazing.
Star Wars The Last Sith. I want to see that. I want to see that movie of a prequel of the prequels, and I want to see that stuff. Disney has trying to recreate nostalgia and then create on top of that, because they, in the end, what they wanted to do is use the legacy characters. Yeah. They wanted to see Mark Hamill return. They wanted to see Harrison Ford return. They wanted to see Carrie Fisher return. And so therefore they put it 10 years in the future and just say, oh, all that stuff they did didn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of dilutes the stories that we had originally. Like, it waters them down.
They kind of just wanted to, like you said, just remake what they already had. And so if you look at interviews from after, I think it was after The Return of the Jedi came out, and Mark Hamill was on different interview shows, he says, yeah, we just finished the last movie, should be coming out in theaters. And he said, and George actually has an idea for 20 years in the future of making another trilogy of the story of Anakin Skywalker, my father, and his master Obi-Wan. But he says now's probably not the time because he wants it to be more CGI,
more advanced, that we don't have,
more effects.
Exactly.
And so George Lucas had a plan 20 years in advance already for what he wanted Star Wars.
He was just waiting for the
Disney bought it and was just like, hey, let's redo it, but this time with a girl.
Yeah.
And like, let's throw away everybody's character development too. Like Finn could have had an amazing character development. Poe.
There was so much potential in the first movie, and then it just got worse and worse and worse.
Exactly. And like, that's my main frustration with Disney. And I mean, like, it comes from a place of like such, I'm going to say this, and I may cut it out later, but it comes from a place of like true ignorance. And I know that like people who like, it's Disney, it's the great god of Disney, what do these three idiots know about making a good movie franchise? But I could tell you right now, I didn't like their new movie franchise. I didn't like their movie franchise.
Yeah.
So if they want to ask what do I know about it, that's what I know about it, is that theirs sucks.
Yeah.
So, like, in all the Disney's infinite wisdom, they couldn't come up with a good Star Wars trilogy. So you know what? Like, I like that they learned their lesson and go back, not remake, but like go back and stinking add to stories, add context to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you need to do. If you're going to plan on a franchise, that's what you need to do with anything. That's what Marvel did with itself in the beginning.
Yeah.
Adding context to, like, Captain America, the original, was a context to the rest of
and I think it's easier for them to make stuff like that because they already know how it should end and what it's going to lead to. Where when they made the new trilogy, it's like they started the first one, and then they were like, oh, crap, now what do we do? Like, we got to finish this story. How are we going to do it? Because even when they were in the middle of making the third movie, they were still figuring out who Rey was. I'm like, you should have had that figured out before you even started the first one. It was tough.
And obviously that comes from backlash because I'm sure they went into the first movie knowing who Rey was, but then came out of it like, oh my gosh, no one liked it. So we got to change that. I think that...
Or people's theories are better.
Yeah, or people's theories are better, which I think, like... this is the really nerdy thing to say. But stinking... There's a YouTuber named MatPat, of all things. and he makes game theory and film theory, right? You guys know. I'm sure you've heard of that. This knucklehead made a YouTube video that was like, stop changing your story to fit either my theory or stop changing it because I've already guessed it.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good way that creatives need to look at things. It's like, they may know your goal 6 movies ahead.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean change it. They may make up a really good point about your character for their next movie. Don't change it because of that, because in the end, you're supposed to be the professional writer.
Yeah.
And it gets all jumbled and lost after that. You're kind of like,
exactly.
Whoa, I don't know why they did that. Didn't seem like it was going that direction, but just because some people were going that way.
Well, something like that happened in the sequels. J.J. Abrams they wanted to make different directors for each Star Wars movie for the sequels.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams did the first one, then the director of Breaking Bad did the second one, The Last Jedi, the worst one. Anyways, those 2 producers hate each other in real life. Absolutely hate each other.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and
this.
so if you think about it,
They're
the
battling each
director
other.
of The Last Jedi tried to undo everything that J.J. Abrams did in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like Kylo Ren breaking his mask to get rid of it. And then in... what's the last one called again?
The Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
He has to get it fixed because J.J. Abrams is directing it again.
And he's like, I want it back.
Yeah. The director for Breaking Bad made Poe and Rey at the end of the show have a love interest in each other. And then J.J. Abrams in The Last Jedi made them absolutely hate each other.
You can't do that.
Finn was like Force sensitive and stuff like that. I don't know. And then
they
the
switch it
whole what's that Asian chick's name?
Rose.
Rose. So the guy from Breaking Bad wanted her to be like this really new awesome character, but then you see her in The Last Jedi, she has one line.
Yeah.
Because J.J. Abrams and that director hate each other, they wanted to ruin each other's work.
You just can't do that.
So J.J. Abrams should have just had all 3 because he had a plan.
Yeah.
He had a plan for all 3, and then this guy for The Last Jedi ruined it. For the
middle one.
Yeah, for the middle one.
I can't remember the name of the middle one.
What is the middle one?
The Force Awakens?
No, that's the first one.
That's the first one. The
Last
Force
one's
Awakens.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. The Force Awakens.
What is it?
Rise of Skywalker's the last one. The Rise of
Skywalker's the last one.
The second one is
The Last
Force
Jedi is
Awakens.
the second one.
Really?
The Last Jedi is the second one.
We had that wrong.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oopsie.
Screw those
Jedi
guys.
was the second one. Screw them, yeah.
Eh.
J.J. Abrams should have just had all 3.
Yeah.
Because those directors hate each other, and it was good story, ruined it, and then had to try and fix the ruined story, which made it an okay story.
It made it a wasted
So it was...
one.
Sequel trilogies never happened.
Yeah, and you should never, ever switch directors or anything.
Yeah.
Even if they like each other, they're going to have different opinions and different things.
Yeah. I would have much rather seen a set of movies set 50 years in the future when you pick up with the New Republic and you've got a new set of characters, people trying to figure out what the Jedi Order is and how does it fit in the New Republic politically, and go back to what works. Why are we doing this crap?
Yeah.
And at the same time, those movies are like, well, this is what worked.
Yeah.
And the first 3 of them.
Yeah, I think that's the problem I think that Marvel and Star Wars have the same problem where, like you said, they're trying to recreate the lightning in the bottle. And it's like, and they're kind of in that area where it's like, what do people like? What do people not like? They want to recreate what people liked, but they, at the same time, want to make it new and with the times. But it's like, Star Wars is its own time.
Yeah.
Make it its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Quit trying to put your idea and ideals of the world into something
that is not even of this universe.
Yeah, that doesn't even take place in this world.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's personally frustrating. This was one weird closing statement we just did.
We went really off.
We went on a tangent.
Yeah.
I forgot we were talking about Obi-Wan.
I did a little bit too there towards the end.
Yeah.
What is this podcast about?
Yeah,
Disney's just gonna watch this and just be like, I feel like this is a podcast.
This is
about
the
hating
Disney rant.
This is
a Disney rant series.
Exactly. At the end of the, I'm gonna put in the title like Obi-Wan episode / Disney rant
/ Disney
and
rant.
that's what this is gonna be. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is the Brains in the Jar podcast. Thank you so much for showing up today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoyed the show. Like, subscribe, rate us if you're finding us on Apple or wherever. Thank you so much. Leave a comment. we don't get a lot of comments. So if you leave one, we'll probably read it on the show. And
you'll be our number one fan.
Exactly.
We'll be a whole podcast dedicated to reacting to one comment.
Oh my gosh.
We're dissecting the comment about how it refers to the MCU and the Star Wars universe.
Or us. I mean, like, I don't mind getting a criticism. Y'all criticize us.
Just say, I like your shirt.
Just say you like Adrian's shirt, and then tell us how much you don't like Jordan's shirt, and then we'll...
It does say Yuma on it, so...
It does say Yuma on it. And then we'll just go from there. We'll do a whole episode about that. Thank you so much for watching either way. If you're looking for potential business owners out there, if you're looking to sponsor a new hip podcast, this is the one.
This is the one.
This is the one to do.
This is the way.
Mountain Dew, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Please sponsor us.
Yeah.
We're going to have a whole podcast
on a
tomorrow
Baja
dedicated
Blast.
to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a first.
We have a whole podcast based around the dang Mountain Dew, so you guys hit us up. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.